Да, у меня микрофон был выключен. Привет, Саш. Здорово, что тоже зашел на стрим. Спасибо за лайк. Вот. Все, Xbox начинает шоу. Через 31 минуту начнется. Странно, почему через 31, если они запустили, написали, ну, по нашему времени 18:30, спасибо тебе тоже за лайк. Так уже получается у нас 18:28, через 2 минуты. А сегодня, по сути, нам что покажет? Тоже игры, но уже не от нашей студии внутренней, а от сторонних студий. Ну, например, там Microsoft у кого-то брала, ну как сказать, заказывала игры, и студия делала для нас игры. Вот сегодня должны показать. Сейчас посмотрим, русский язык будет. К сожалению, английский только, а русского языка здесь нет. Вот это обидно. Майки купить Ubisoft. Ну, скорее всего, следующий на очереди Ubisoft. Сначала надо закрыть сделку с Activision. Ну, решай сам вторую часть. И я тебя спросил тогда, чей там голос? Чей там был голос? Ну да, в песне. Это мне просто тоже интересно. Вот так? Ну-ка, раз. Во. Вот так я говорю уже потише, не громко. Или давай еще тише сделаем. Вот где-то вот так, да? Или громче сделать микрофон. Хорошо, вот так, да, Свет? Хорошо сделал. Я могу пока вот так сделать тогда музыку. Пока мисс, а потом чуть-чуть увеличу. Спасибо, Саш. Спасибо. То ты не дизлайк поставил тогда. А ведь тогда ты мне дизлайк поставил. А сам говорит, да не я. Могу сделать море сердец. Ну попробуй. Мне почему-то вот ваши сердечки не вижу. Сейчас я зайду к себе на стрим, чтобы смотреть. Мне почему-то вот во. Я сам к себе на стрим зашел, чтобы смотреть. А у меня никакой сердечки почему-то нет. Обидно. Я пока тут музыку выключу пока. Все равно музыка играет. Я море сердечек ставила. Вот что интересно, мне не показывает. Вот я сейчас зашел в свой чат, я не вижу. И я верю, что ты ставила, я верю. И что Саня может ставил, верю. Но мне почему-то не видно, честно, вот не знаю почему. О, Диабло 4. О, там что-то с Диаблом будет. 25 минут осталось. Пошла жара. Ну, кстати, Сань, как у вас там с погодой? Вот у нас, да, у нас жара пошла, кстати. Сегодня нарвался на такой сонибойский канал, там какая-то девчонка рассказывала, что, ну, она сравнивала PlayStation шоу и шоу Xbox, типа, ну, PlayStation, ну, типа, неплохо, все нормально, ну, вот у Xbox тоже все нормально, ну, вот что, типа, Starfield 30 FPS, ну, так себе, пойдет. А я думаю, а когда их Forspoken вышел в 30 FPS, что-то они не орали, что-то не сидели ниже травы, тише воды. Хотя он тоже шел в 30 FPS. Да просто я понимаю, почему Sony боит. Это зависть, это завидуют. Что, ну что Sony показал? Один единственный Человек-паук 2 и все. Ну и все. Вот и все игры. А Xbox показал море игр, куча игр. Вот. 34 игры Xbox показал. Плюс 21 из них попадут сразу в геймпас. Вот. А что показал Sony? Ну, Человек-паук. Это зависть. Их мучает, их гложет. Что на плоечке у них, кроме паука, больше не во что поиграть. А вот те, кто на Xbox, или те, кто на ПК через геймпас, ну, те поиграть могут. Ну вот, я говорю, она меня, походу, ждала, когда я уйду. И сразу вылезла. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй. Это кошечка у нас. Мы ее так назвали. Милочка. Вот. По сути, ихняя Sony просто обгадилась. Ну, вот примерно как-то так. Вот так. Ихняя Sony. Ведь у меня лагал от сердец. Это чё? Ведь у меня лагало от сердец. Портативка от Sony будет лагать. Опять залезла под кровать. Сань, у меня вот под описанием, под стримом, описание там есть ссылка на телегу, попробуй подключиться. Эта пригласительная ссылка устарела. Бля, прикинь, мне тоже начало писать, что эта ссылка устарела. Блин, это обидно. Сейчас изменю. Вот я попробую. Я тебе кину приглашение. Поскольку этот участник был в группе, прежде чем вы сможете пригласить его обратно, только если обменяетесь с ним контактами. Сань, ты мне что, в контакты не добавил в телеге? Мне пишет, поскольку пользователь был участником вашей группы, прежде чем вы его сможете пригласить его обратно, только если вы обменяетесь с ним контактами. Я не помню, ты мне через друзей удалил? А я думаю, с тобой друзья навсегда. Сейчас попробую еще раз приглашение тебе кинуть в группу. Вот. Так, так. Тип группы публичная. Так, копировать. Сейчас я тебе попробую скинуть ссылку в чат. Попробуй по этой ссылке пройти в группу. Блин, не получается. Сейчас пытаюсь сделать. Так, либо через браузер так. А все равно время еще есть. — 17 минут там. Сейчас я пытаюсь подключиться в телегу, чтобы это... Так, сейчас аж... Так. Ну-ка, я сам проверю, зайдет он. Так, открыть. Да, вот теперь попробую. Попробуй теперь по вот этой ссылке пройти. Вдруг и правда у тебя получится. Группа недоступна. Сейчас, секунду. Тип группы. Тип группы публичная. Разрешить по ссылке. Странно. Так, пригласить по ссылке. Копировать. Давай я тебе сейчас в телегу попробую скинуть. Попробую в телеге вступить. Вот я тебе в телегу скинул ссылку. Группа недоступна. Блин, ну тогда не знаю, Сань, честно слово. Я не знаю, как тебя пригласить. У меня группа написана публично, открытая. Вот. Создать ссылку. Вот сейчас я ссылку скопировал, вот. Да какие сони бои? Пошли в жопу. Вот ссылка, вот тебе ссылка. Вступи, пожалуйста, уже. Тогда не знаю, без обид. Я пытался, честно. Так, у меня геймпадик сел. 9 минут осталось. Я тогда музыку тут включаю. Ну-ка я сам по своей же ссылке пройду. Вот у меня открывается ссылочка. Все, вот моя группа. Что-то ты обманываешь, Саш. Ты обманываешь. Я сам по своей сейчас ссылке только что вот прошел, и вот моя группа. И группа доступна. Блядь, Саша! Все, ты можешь ко мне зайти в группу. Все, Сань. Все, Саня, я нашел черный список. Оказывается, и правда, ты у меня был в черном списке. Я нашел, я удалил тебя. Все, вступи в группу, и ты сможешь вступить. Здорово, Xbox рулит. Здорово. Сегодня покажут вторую часть презентации, но уже не от внутренних студий игры, а от сторонней студии. Но на этой презентации уже русского языка не будет, тут только английский, к сожалению. Вот ссылка на мою телегу, кто хочет, вступайте, вот ссылочка. Xbox рулит. Вот, мне охота тоже твое мнение услышать. Вот ты как считаешь, Microsoft все-таки смогла победить? Или, ей не хватило? Вот твое мнение. Как ты считаешь? Все, Сань, спасибо, что присоединился к группе. Спасибо, Сань. Оказывается, реально, ты у меня был в черном списке, я этот список только сейчас нашел. Она уже победила. Я рад. Ну просто у нас много игр показал, много игр. А что у Sony? У Sony все мультиплатформа. Ну, вот те игры, которые выйдут и на Xbox тоже. А вот те игры, которые показали у нас, кроме Киберпанка, Киберпанк выйдет и на PlayStation тоже, но остальные игры на PlayStation не выйдут. Xbox ПК. Получается, наши эксклюзивы. Витя. Ну блин! Я нечаянно, я искал, я тыкал, мыкал. Да где ты долбанный черный список? Вот. Искал. Бац, нашел. Ну, давай смотреть, а есть ли там, ну, ты. Смотрю, правда, ты есть. Ну, я тебя удалил. Из черного списка. Все. Оказывается, и правда, ты у меня был в черном списке. Так, 5 минут осталось. Саш, я не предатель. Дело в том, что ты поменял ник. А я откуда знаю, ты это или не ты? Я думал, какой-то чел, может, зашел там, начал всякую херню на английском писать. Поэтому, ну, естественно, я и удалил. Я никого в черный список не забираю. Я там нажимаю исключить. У меня написано было выгнать из группы. Просто выгнать. Ну, я нажал. А потом просто, ну, смотрю, у меня же в друзьях ты же есть. Ну, странно. Это чел у меня еще в друзьях. Я захожу, нажимаю на фотку. И потом по нашей переписке я понял, что это был ты. Я думаю, блин, ну надо теперь назад тебя вернуть, получается. И вот я мучился, и вот сейчас только домучился. Ты не поддерживаешь Xbox. Не, почему не поддерживаешь? Я поддерживаю Xbox. Я ж тебе, Саша, говорил, я не поэт и не писатель. Я просто так мозги вот так. А? А? Сказал поэтично. А где кепка Xbox? А, так все на месте. Вот. Вот мой кипон. Я почему кепку не одеваю? У нас сейчас дома жарко. Ну, потому что у нас сегодня 32 градуса жары. Если сейчас кепочку еще одену, у меня голова нагреется, у меня потом давление может подняться и опять плохо станет. Вот. Я лето не люблю, у меня всегда летом плохо. Лето не любит меня, а я не люблю лето. Вот в том году летом я заболел коронавирусом. В этом году у меня давление поднимается летом. Поэтому мы с летом, мы не друзья, мы не дружим. Она не любит меня, а я не люблю ее. Вот и все. Подожди, давай посмотрим, а тут еще один есть. Так, трансляции. Ну давай, вот это, например. — 44 секунды. Тут вообще субтитров нет, да? Да, тут вообще субтитров нет. Вот сейчас я звук включу тут. 30 секунд. 30 секунд. Кого размазали? А, да, теперь растирать будут. Сегодня покажут игры, теперь уже не от внутренних студий, привет, нагибатор, А, от сторонних студий. У кого Microsoft игры заказывала. Так что сегодня тоже будут показ игр. К сожалению, трансляция не имеет русских субтитров. Вот, к сожалению.
Green particles shimmer up through the cracks. Images of Senua appear through the particles, followed by animated characters, a side-scroller. The Xbox logo appears in front of the shimmering particles. Title, Xbox Games Showcase Extended. An astronaut stands on a barren moon. Day and night passes over alien landscapes. A zombified hand plays a guitar, and a young woman grasps a sword. Text. Test the limits. Push the boundaries. Defy the odds.
Вот ссылка на мою телегу, кто еще не подписан.
Text.
Оказывается, это был босс.
A giant strikes a sword woman. Kay looks through binoculars with her
companion Nyx.
A zombified bear roars. Senua stands in a cave. A star destroyer shatters a TIE fighter.
Закрепить телегу, сейчас закрепим.
Kay enters hyperspace.
Спасибо, Саш.
An ornithopter unfolds its wings. A woman peers over sunglasses. Men in top hats hover, frozen in time. A helicopter crashes into the side of a building in Night City. 33 caped immortals duel. Kay races on her speeder bike. A thief dons a mask. Titles appear. Avowed, Towerborn, Hellblade, Clockwork Revolution, Fable, South of Midnight, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, Payday 3, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, Path of the Goddess, Persona Tactica, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Still Wakes the Deep, Star Wars Immortals, Overwatch 2, Cities Skylines, Starfield, and more. Xbox logo. A woman wears a black blouse tucked into black jeans.
Welcome to the Xbox Games Showcase Extended. My name is Tina Amini, and I'm here to dive a little bit more into the games you saw at our recent Xbox Games Showcase. Showcase featured 27 ambitious games, all coming to Xbox. Games like Clockwork Revolution from inXile Entertainment, Fable from Playground Games, and from our partners, Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft Massive in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, and Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess from Capcom. Today, we'll take a closer look at some other games from our showcase lineup and introduce you to some more games too. We've got the game director of Avowed from Obsidian Entertainment breaking down the game's trailer, and the game director of Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks is here to tell us about their newest update. You'll also hear from Sarah Bond, head of the Gaming Ecosystem Organization for Xbox, who will tell us more about a program to bring games from underrepresented developers with unique visions to Xbox and Game Pass. And we may just have a few other fun guests in store for you too, so stay tuned. But first, let's check out the rainy streets and sinister markets of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
Киберпанк что-то будет сейчас.
Hello everyone. I'm really excited to welcome you to this exclusive Xbox store over Black Market, one of the locations in Dogtown that you are going to be able to explore in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. As you can see, Dogtown welcomes you with an open arms.
Too tame?
This is Black Market, a location where you as a player, as a mercenary, you can obtain unique cyberware and weapons, things that you cannot find anywhere in this world. Dogtown is a part of Night City, but it has its own very distinct look and vibe. It's outside
V enters a marketplace.
Attracting all kinds of eccentrics and dangerous characters.
Radical mods, June. Never seen anything like that on a non-maelstromer.
You mean this? Ain't seen nothing yet. Check this out. Or this here.
Flames shoot from his mechanical
We've put
elbows.
a lot of work into making the world feel more alive. Small scenes, secrets to find, Easter eggs, make this place feel more vibrant and more believable.
Maintenance accessories and...
But what's inescapable in Dogtown is Kurt Hansen. Kurt is a leader of Borges militia who rules Dogtown with an iron fist.
You've come to the right place. NCPD, gang...
A bald man appears on screens overlooking the market.
Check this out.
Были слухи, что изначально в DLC вот этом Киберпанке было русскоязычно, все было, но ее потом вырезали,
The
убрали.
black market also is a place where you can find new illegal weapons and goods. They are some of the most powerful items in the world, but are often much more dangerous to use. A new cyberware capacity system, which leads you to push your body to the limit and give you new abilities to deliver more thrilling gameplay experiences, like the air dash or the ability to see the enemies through the walls, or change your appearance to lose the heat. The Borges is the authorities of Dogtown, and they are more dangerous than NCPD. When you as a player commit crimes in Dogtown, they are the guys who are going to chase you. We have
Two figures in black beat up a civilian.
the police system. Police actions are more believable, dynamic, and diverse. The team has been working passionately to deliver you more deeper and meaningful experience, and I really cannot wait for you to find out more this September. See you in Dogtown.
He smiles. Red holograms appear over the cybernet. Date appears, September 26th, 2023. Title, Phantom Liberty, for Xbox Series X and S.
We're not done talking about CD Projekt Red's next dive into the story between V and Johnny just yet. In fact, we're here with the voice and stylings of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves himself. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tina gestures to Keanu.
Likewise. Well, Phantom Liberty introduces us to an entirely new location in Night City. It's called Dogtown. It's this devastated place. It's controlled by a militia. But I think you know more about it than I do, so how would you describe it to players?
Night City has its own kind of levels to it, and I think Dogtown is kind of going down to a darker place. It's dystopian. It has a tension to it, and this undercut current of kind of violence, you know, like, and struggle. You know,
He circles his hands.
shit's gone down.
He smiles.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I mean, hopefully it'll be fun for people to play there.
It's hard to
He wears a
believe that
t-shirt
there's
with
an
the samurai
underbelly
logo.
Yes,
that
that's
is Night
good.
City,
Yes,
right? Yeah, I'm a little
yeah.
scared, but in a good way.
No, it's a good way. I mean, we're all kind of we're all moths to the flame, aren't we? And there's a lot of flame in Dogtown.
Well, if anyone can take it on, it's V.
Fires
So
burn
that
in
certainly
barrels.
gives me the confidence.
Yeah, V's a survivor,
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
you know?
And we just saw a tour of Dogtown, too, so we got a little bit of that
Oh, cool.
ambiance, and we can see what the environment is like. People are getting beat up. It's not good.
It's, yeah.
It's not the friendliest place. to
Keanu
be.
shakes his head.
You gotta be prepared for it, truly.
Yeah.
But in our tour, we also hear a recording from a Colonel Kurt Hansen. Who's this guy? Because he seems pretty dangerous, too.
Yeah, that guy. No, I'm sorry, I can't say that. My inner Johnny came out.
I think that's
My
good. You know,
inner-
we know the tone now.
Yeah.
He grins.
He's
Советую
ex-military,
посмотреть
military
один
too.
фильм есть с
Ruthless,
Киану Ривзом,
power
он там в главной
hungry,
роли.
manipulative,
Фильм
and Johnny
называется
doesn't like him.
I could see that.
Сейчас
It's,
я
I mean, Night City
поищу
in general is the
название
kind of place
фильма.
that breeds that kind of character.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back. Let's talk about Johnny as a person instead of this horrible person known as Colonel Kurt Hansen. I don't know about this guy, but people like Johnny, and I think it's interesting because we know him to be opinionated. He's radical. We've seen that in Cyberpunk 2077 in the Man campaign, but as we get to know him, he's got a sensitive side too. He can actually be quite caring.
That's what makes it so much fun. He is outspoken. He is He's a little grumpy, and he has a right to be. He's been used, he's been abused, he's been abandoned. And I think that through that kind of hardness of his outside, there is a vulnerability to him. And I think what's great about it is I get to play that character in so many different ways, and so the range of it is cool.
And especially for the player, you get to see these moments in flashbacks. You start to understand he's a product of his upbringing, truly, of his surrounding.
Well, let's not get carried away. I mean, we can start
Tina
talking
nods.
about nature and nurture. I'm sorry, I keep dropping into Johnny, but
Keanu rubs his eye and smiles.
yeah, I like his anger. I like his passion. I like what he stands for. He's really just looking for a fair shot. And
He shifts back and forth in his seat.
he's kind of going through music, that there's an artist side to him. And, you know, I got some great speeches.
There's all these moments with Johnny where a tiny little thing, you know, elicits this really fun response. You can flip him off and he double birds you back. I love those kind of moments.
Keanu flips the bird.
I think another interesting lens
And devil
looking
horns.
at him as we get into Phantom Liberty is his dynamic with Solomon Reed. So what can you tell me about Johnny's relationship with Idris Elba's character?
I think Solomon has some things in common with Johnny in the sense of the military, the sense of being used, abused. You know, it's in the title, right? They're fighting for a liberty. You know, Solomon's kind of trying to reclaim his life, you know, and Johnny's doing the same thing. You know, it's Cyberpunk 2077, so it might start off as revenge, and it might end as revenge, but I think sometimes he feels like he's lashing out at the wind, you know? And I think Solomon has been living out in the kind of the desert of his life, right? Kind of hiding and harboring.
Yeah.
But I think he also
Keanu gestures
has
to an imaginary
soft
flat
and
surface.
hard side to him as well.
So as somebody who's very familiar with thrillers, because you've starred in a few, what do you think about Phantom Liberty makes for a good spy thriller in particular?
The quest to understand what's going on. So, and the kind of scavenger hunt of information, the mystery, the double crossing, what is true, what's fiction, what can you count on, you can't count on anything. That is really kind of amplified.
Sun rises over Night City. The president pushes herself to her feet.
Thank you so much for coming out to another Xbox presentation. You've got a lot of fans out there in the Xbox community, so I think I can speak for all of us in saying we really appreciate you showing up here today.
Oh, well, thank you.
But before I close things out,
Yeah.
well, before I close things out, I'd love your help here, Keanu. How do you think Johnny would end this interview right now?
Tina smiles slyly.
Well, there's a lot of ways you could do that.
Надо же, Киану уже начинает диктор
Tina,
переводить.
pleasure to meet you.
Oh, is that how Johnny would?
Keanu
Либо
extends
это
his
они
hand.
говорят, Киану, давай уже все, пора.
Such a
Tina
huge
shakes it.
pleasure to have you. I thought you were going to kick down the camera or something. So
No, you see, he's respectful. You know, you're a good egg.
oh, thank you. You too. And I'll see you out there again soon.
Tina smiles with glossy pink lips. Title appears, Phantom Liberty, on September 26th, 2023.
Да, мы поняли. А что за игра?
A shadow melts in from the background. Squanch Games. A pistol has eyes and a mouth in place of a hammer on its
игра,
rear.
где пистолеты
Grotesque
разговаривают.
laser creatures fire at the player. The gun blinks. A blob-like pink creature reaches and roars with gooey pink lips. It frowns, then flicks the player away.
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
Gooey red text appears. High on knife. Coming soon. Red blood spatters the screen. Title, High on Life. Text, from the makers of the Shadowrun Returns series and Battletech.
Стрелялка, да? Или что?
News appears for strange creature seen at docks.
Sealed. And if you get a glimpse behind the scenery,
News clipping,
Stay.
antiques dealer missing.
You will discover nothing but darkness. And
A bald man flees through cobblestone streets.
swallow you whole.
A caped figure closes on him. Text, in the shadow of an ancient
I'm in a
evil.
race against this
А,
darkness.
типа
A
пошаговая
race to locate an
стратегия.
ancient ruin, a tower of unspeakable power. I need the best of the best.
Типа в духе XCOM 2, XCOM что-то такого. Либо
Gameplay,
Мутант
turn-based
Зера.
So I'll use
В
you,
этом духе.
scoundrels, thieves, cutthroats.
A man with a white hair and beard strategizes at a map table. Text,
Ясно.
only a band of outcasts can light the way.
Oh, come now. Try not to look so glum.
A beefy man with a
Da?
mustache battles soldiers in World War I era helmets.
You're going to help me save the world.
Title appears, The Lamplighters League, and the Tower at the End of the World.
Xbox Game Pass.
Text, Game Pass Day 1, October 3rd,
3
2023.
октября.
When it comes to RPG studios, Obsidian Entertainment is among the very best. From Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Pentiment, Obsidian Games have placed their stamp on the genre. Joining us today for a closer look at Avowed is game director Carrie Patel. Carrie, I am so excited to have you here. We just saw this big reveal of Avowed, and there's so many little bits of information in there that I want to dig out and pick your brain around. But before we get into all that, I'm assuming that you don't need to have played Pillars 1 or 2 to really get into Avowed.
You're absolutely right. You don't need to have played Pillars 1 or 2. You can come to the world of Avowed fresh. We want this to be a welcoming experience to new players. But if you are a returning fan, there are some recognizable tidbits.
For people who have played Pillars 1 or 2, can you tease any more of just those general connections to the universe? And no major spoilers, of course.
Yeah. There are a couple returning characters
Carrie nods.
that players might recognize from Deadfire in particular. Players who have played the original games will recognize some of the parts of the world and some of the factions. The Adiran Empire plays pretty heavily into the world of Avowed, so all of that will be familiar to returning players.
We do start to
Carrie
see
wears
some
an
of that
olive drab
Pillars universe
jacket.
now in the
Okay,
Avowed
это
setting, which is
процедура.
really exciting, and it's looking amazing so far. But can you confirm one thing for me? Are we still in Aora?
We're still in Aora, and specifically we're in a region called the Living Lands. So again, returning Pillars fans will recognize the Living Lands as this otherworldly frontier. It's very remote. It's relatively unknown. It's this very dramatic landscape full of all of these different valleys with these unique biomes and creatures. Just a really unique visual perspective. And it's a wonderful frontiersy spot that's set for adventure. There's a lot that's undiscovered, and so that's the part of Aora that we're introducing players to in Avowed.
And we also see a character talking to us in the trailer. He seems like he might be a companion, because that would be a very Obsidian thing to do. So what's going on with
Carrie
that?
grins.
Yes, this is Kai, and he is one of the first companions you meet in the game.
Ну,
He's
вам
an
нравится
Amawa,
такой
that's one of the
стиль,
unique species of the world of Aora,
презентации
and Kai as a
Xbox?
character brings a
Ну, то
balance of
сегодня,
this
конечно,
really
будем подробно
battle-hardened perspective.
рассказывать,
He's seen a
типа,
lot,
как
he's served
они
as a
эту
soldier and a
игру
mercenary.
делали,
Both men with
туда
blue skin and
как
pointed
они там
ears.
So he brings a
добавили.
spirit of levity and camaraderie to the party as well.
And as he's talking to us, he's also kind of conveying, well, he's straight up saying that he's afraid of you and your abilities. But it's not like the heroes are the only powerful beings in this universe. So I'm curious what that means for who we are as the player character. Are we a watcher again, like in Pillars 1 and 2? Or maybe we have some connections to the spirit realm and beyond that gives us these terrifying abilities?
So you're not a
Ну, вот
watcher
мне-
this
вот
time, but
даже
you
по
do have a unique soul
геймплею,
connection
мне
to the
кажется,
world that gives you a connection to
Skyrim,
the
либо
living lands and to
плагиат на
some of the more
Skyrim.
mysterious forces at work there. The player is also being sent as an
вот
envoy
эта
of the
игра,
Adiran
вот эта.
Empire, and so they come with both a very mysterious aura, but also a certain sense of political urgency.
Kai also mentions a plague. That's another bit of detail that we get within the trailer. We see a very concerning growth on a lot of the creatures in the world. What can you tell us about this plague?
I can't say too much just yet, except that it is a unique soul plague that is devouring the living lands, and part of the player's mission in being sent here
A
to
bear is covered
investigate
in
and try to
grotesque
stop it.
pustules.
We also saw a lot of combat in the trailer, and we see dual-wielding pistols, we see spells,
Ну
we
да,
see
тут
swords, we see just a ton of
пистолеты,
abilities. A
ближний
lot
бой,
that actually is
дальний
really
бой,
reminiscent of the
магия.
Pillars universe too, but those were isometric top-down view games, and Avowed is a first-person game. So how did the team approach that same kind of fantasy combat, but in the first person for Avowed?
So we wanted to take that same depth and breadth of play styles and combat abilities and player fantasies, where you can play someone who's very magically attuned, more traditional fighter or ranger, and really invest in whatever play style is most appealing to you personally. We wanted to take that depth and breadth and translate it into a first-person experience, where you can feel the visceral nature of the attacks, feel the dynamism and the momentum of those attacks as you're executing them, and that means including a range of options like, as you noted, dual-wielding pistols, which is one of my favorites because you don't see that often in fantasy RPGs, but also traditional sword and board, a whole host of magical abilities, a lot of things that'll be both a little bit familiar but hopefully new to players as well.
And I've got one more question for you, because I know the audience is going to want to know this one, but just how big is this game?
So it's going to be roughly comparable to something like Knights of the Old Republic 2 or The Outer Worlds. It is set up as a series of interconnected open zones that players can explore at their own pace. You can invest in discovering every nook and cranny in the world, discovering every secret, finding every side quest, meeting every character, or you can have a much more focused experience. And it's really up to players and how much time they want to spend in the Living Lands, but I'm hopeful that they're going to spend a lot of time with us once Avowed releases.
Carrie clasped her hands. Because I definitely want to read and hear every line of dialogue, everything everyone has to tell me, and discover every inch of the Living Lands. Well, thank you again so much for being here, Carrie. This has been so insightful and fun.
Thank you, Tina. This has been a pleasure.
That was just
both of them smile.
What you can expect from Obsidian Entertainment when Avowed lands next year on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass.
A glowing figure with mechanical rabbit ears stands. She powers up with electrical energy, the lower part of her face showing full lips. A braid trails behind her as she leaps off a building. Title, The First Descendant. Text, Byung-Joon Lee, producer, Nexon Games. Subtitles, The First Descendant is a next-generation, third-person looter shooter developed using Unreal Engine 5, supporting cross-play between PC and consoles, including Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One. It will be available as a free-to-play game. The player becomes a descendant and fights fierce battles against alien invaders for the survival of humans. The descendant, who is the player, has unique combat styles and concepts. Players will discover new stories by exploring the Ingress continent and will get to clear various missions through single-player or co-op. Additionally, they'll get to participate in boss raids through a maximum of 4-player co-op. By destroying various parts of a boss and through various gimmicks, players will experience an immersive and engaging team play. Currently, our team is working on developing new content and improving the game based on community feedback received from the beta test last year. What you see now is an actual never-before-seen Xbox Series X gameplay of our game. We are working to provide a stable gameplay experience, even with high-quality graphics developed using Unreal Engine 5. The player in a long jacket vaults through various environments. Subtitles. Additionally, we are developing new characters. This descendant has been designed for our players to experience unique gameplay using water element powers. We also have a new character that uses a magnetic field for defense with the ability to fly. To provide more content for exploration and for our players to experience an immersive story, we are working on new maps of various environments and new giant boss raids. We are implementing the most requested system for our players, the cosmetic system. Various skins are shown on different players with mechanical suits. Subtitles. Unique character skins and other cosmetic items will be added so that players can present their personalities in the game to the fullest. We completely changed the grappling hook, which received the most feedback last year. The all-new grappling hook supports rotation, acceleration, and deceleration when moving based on the player's controls, adding more fun to the game. While reflecting on our players' feedback by improving the jumping motion, gun sound, user interface, and user experience, we are also developing a new system for character skill modification and collaborating with Stefan Barton, a globally well-known composer and orchestra plays. Subtitles. Lastly, I would like to share the news you have been waiting for the most. We are currently aiming to launch our game this year. Before then, we plan on holding a cross-play beta test in August that will be available on consoles, such as Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, and PC. The test will be held for about a week, from August 28th until September 3rd. As signups will be starting today, we look forward to much participation from you all. Text: The First Descendant. Join the cross-play beta August 22nd through 28th.
When we were wrapping up Banner Saga, we were really talking about what is it we want to do next.
We earnestly started with the idea of making a game that was hopeful, that was a triumph for the human spirit.
Something
Text: Arnie Jorgensen.
A lot of replay ability, something that you can really explore.
Text: John Watson.
There are different worlds that we want to explore. Towerborn is that game.
Text: Welcome to Towerborn. A windmill towers high above the clouds as dust motes float by.
Fast-paced action RPG. It's a co-op game. You can play it online. You can play it on a couch with your friends and family. Everybody's moving.
Arnie and John sit on a couch.
As the players move out, they start breadcrumbing the storyline that is being told here.
Эту игру можно на
A hex grid
мобилке
overlays
сделать.
an overworld map.
Fast combat.
Реально, она по
You come out of that
графону
with
ничем не хуже,
resources
чем
and crafting
мобильная
items,
игра.
and with all their new loot, they can go back to the Belfry.
Gameplay:
Какой
side-scrolling hack and
смысл вот
slash.
эту игру
The tall
на
windmill.
консоли выпускать?
The Belfry is the player's
Text:
Я с тобой
Alexandra
согласен,
Lucas.
safe
Саня.
haven. The player can customize their
Эту игру можно
appearance,
было
their
выпустить на
loadout, talk to all
телефон,
these
любой
different
телефон ее
NPCs.
потянет.
The world itself is a mix of 3D
Pedro
and
Toledo.
2D. We definitely wanted to have that kind of beautiful background that you see in animated
Это они
movies.
говорят, что здесь корпоратив
Триша
будет,
Стоуфер.
то можно вот так,
Humanity's
например, ты, я,
last
там еще с
chance
кем-то
at
играть,
survival.
либо
Humanity is
в онлайн
clinging
посетить,
to hope
либо
and clinging
можно,
to this tower.
It is your mission
ну,
to
типа,
try to hold
четвером
the forces of
собраться
darkness
и на
at
одном
bay,
Xbox
to
играть
give
вместе.
humanity a chance at survival.
Text: Journey Together.
The most important thing
Isaac
about the gameplay
Torres.
is it's just fun. And it kind of just amplified its fun the moment you added another player. All of the players can build their character in a way that's specific to them. It just turns into this back and forth exploration. Like, let's try to do this one combo, and then let's see if you can do a follow-up from a
Players slash at goblins in a
That's just really
cave.
fun because there's not too many couch co-op games anymore.
Вот,
Text:
мое
The
мнение,
adventure
я не знаю.
continues.
Кому, конечно,
Hoping
есть
in
люди,
5
которым,
years
может
from
быть,
now,
эта
it's in a
игра
place that I
понравится.
never even would have thought of.
It's a seasonal game, which is different for us.
Players
На
can expect
телефоне,
a new
пожалуйста,
storyline with new
выпустите.
quests, new biomes.
Ну
We'll be
зачем
rolling out
Xbox
new
такой?
gear,
Ну не
new
надо,
monsters,
ну
new bosses.
ребят.
Expanding on the content in a continuous, organic way, so it just becomes a living world.
Ребят, я за сколько дней проходил игру? Ну,
The
смотря
Belfry
какая
towers
игра.
high above the land below.
We decided, let's just make games that we
Я
feel
же паузу
strongly about
делаю, я
and we
не
want to
сижу
play.
там прям с
We
утра
had
и
to
до
find
вечера
the right
прохожу игры.
relationship with a publisher, and I think we found
Бывает
that with
по-разному, могу за
Xbox.
месяц
They've
пройти,
enabled us
могу
to
за
make the game that we
неделю.
want to make here. I earnestly cannot wait for the community to see the game that we're rolling out here. Towerborn is, I really believe, something unique.
Ramen floats in an upside-down bowl. Title appears: Towerborn. Join the Towerborn Insider program today.
Ну, Фил же Спенсер сказал, что не беседует.
Text: Save the Blue Ridge Caravan in Once Upon a Blue
Мобильный
Moon.
рынок взять. Вот, пожалуйста,
A
одна
werewolf
игра для
runs up on
мобилки
two
уже готова.
caravanners. Text: 2 new public events.
Вот. А, это,
An
Fallout,
armored
Fallout
turtle-like creature
76.
slams the ground with stumpy arms. Text: New daily ops mutilation. New modes. Text: Danger, terror, a howlin' good
Почему
time.
оборотни?
3 players watch a
они
theater. A
добавляют
werewolf
DLC,
howls before a
и
moon.
там будут оборотни теперь.
Title: Fallout 76, Once in a Blue Moon. In a settlement, a flag flaps for Blue
Я
Ridge
могу
Caravan
пройти за один
Company.
день, целые 2 дня. Ну, смотри,
I
если
hope you enjoyed the
подрубить
world premiere
4,
of the trailer
там
for
на
our Once in a Blue Moon
бессмертие,
update
например, там
coming
и так
June
далее,
20th.
то
Free to play for
ну да,
anyone
можно
who owns
пройти
Fallout
очень
76.
быстро. Ты бессмертный, ты всех убил, всю игру
The
прошел.
Blue Moon has risen over the
без
hills of
щитов, ну
Appalachia,
там тебя
bringing with it
грохнули,
a ton
еще
of great new
что-то.
content for players.
Это уже трудно.
That
3 Yaogwai charge players.
Саня, расскажи, пожалуйста, ты можешь
werewolf.
пройти игру, ну, скажем, за 2 дня Red Redemption 2?
The turtle-like creature roars
За 2
and
дня
charges players
Red
while
Redemption 2.
slamming the ground.
Public events,
Можешь?
both of which give you a chance to earn caravan and cryptid-themed rewards.
Stuffed animals sit on a couch and mounted heads are
А
on a
вот
wall.
From waves of monstrous creatures, safe and sound.
Red Redemption я,
Scorpions and toads charge into a settlement.
Мне год потребовался, 1 год,
With
чтобы
season
пройти
13,
Red
we've also got a
Redemption 2.
new scoreboard called Shoot
Там
for the
очень
Stars,
длинная сюжетная
which
кампания.
celebrates the stars of the silver
так.
screen
И ты даже
and gives you a
спидраном
chance.
за 2
Spotlights
дня
click on.
ее не пройдешь. Вот так.
Gold-plated power armor, a popcorn bucket.
Получается, ты
And
обманул.
we're not done yet.
Вот и все.
Next year, we're taking players to Atlantic City, where they'll gamble on
Vault
the
Boy.
fates of new factions for the opportunity to win big.
Vault Boy wears a Hawaiian shirt in a
Я помню,
casino
мы с
players
Женей
party.
начинали здесь играть. Вот,
And earn
классно,
rewards
путешествие.
along the way. Once
A
А
movie
потом,
poster for
короче, там
Devil's
надо было
Moon.
попить, мы пошли в какое-то
Appalachia is
болото,
coming at
подошли,
ya. See
попили
you
из
there.
болота, и все.
A player wearing
И
a
на
wolf's
этом
head
Витька
mask
сказал,
howls at the
все,
moon.
я играть
Title,
больше не
Fallout
буду, потому что
76
я
Once in a
попил
Blue Moon,
водички,
available June 20th,
вода
Atlantic
оказалась
City coming soon.
радиоактивной, а чтоб радиацию увидеть, надо
Text,
что-то
new Hi-Fi Rush
сварить.
arcade challenge updates.
Всё.
Chai
О,
plays at
Hi-Fi
an arcade console. Text, you want a turbo mode? BPM Rush. Chai battles
Это
in a
DLC?
dance floor arena.
Это
Text,
DLC,
defeat
да?
enemies to crank up the beat higher and higher. Chai swings his
что-то
guitar sword at hordes
попросила.
of robots.
What happened now?
Chai is zapped.
О.
Text, Chai's downgraded. A new rhythm tower appears. Power up,
Не,
tower
Hi-Fi
up.
Rush мне
Restore
очень
Chai's
сильно
abilities while
понравился,
keeping the
очень.
beat alive.
Но меня бесит, там есть такие миссии,
Text,
где тебя
mega tough
учат,
new
там
enemies
надо
join
в
the
ритм
fray.
попасть, там, например,
Chai swipes
Y,
at gigantic enemies
потом,
in a room full of
например,
gold
B.
coins. Text,
И
beat
если,
challenges
не
to
дай бог,
unlock
ты
rewards.
промахнулся, именно эту
Call
кнопочку нажал.
CMNN
Всё,
into battle.
писец,
Plus, new
по-новому.
808 looks, accessories, Chai t-shirts, Corsica.
Ведь
Snapshots
даже
show
2
new photo
или
mode
3
poses.
года
Text,
пройти.
coming
Во-во-во,
soon.
да, ты
Advance
я
notice
с
this
тобой
time.
согласен, Свет.
All action, all
Что
awesome.
Света имеет в виду про
Background
этот
fires
Red
a giant
Redemption 2.
rocket launcher. Rekka appears. Pixel versions of Chai and his cat. Title,
5
Hi-Fi Rush Arcade Challenge
июля.
Update coming
5
July 5th.
июля.
We've just seen a new
Надо
trailer
будет
for
выйти,
updates coming to
пройти.
Hi-Fi Rush called Arcade Challenge Update.
Я помню,
No
мне
joke, there's
Женя
literally
как-то
exclamation
говорил,
points
что
in
он
there.
где-то
That's not just
новость
me.
читал,
So here to explain that
что,
and
мол,
more
Hi-Fi
about the
Rush
update is
должны
game director
завести
John
русскую
Johannes. Welcome to
озвучку.
Showcase Extended, John.
Типа
Really
русский
glad.
John wears a
субтитры,
denim
но еще и
jacket.
озвучку
Points?
внесут.
They have to
Ну,
be
я
in
что-то
there.
когда заходил, проверял,
It's
style.
нет,
It's
там
style,
нет
yeah.
русской
Style thing.
озвучки,
Well,
к
Hi-Fi Rush is such a
сожалению.
stylish game in
Может
general.
быть,
I think that's
внесут,
one of the
но
things that
попозже.
people really excitedly pointed out when we shadow dropped the game in the developer direct earlier this year. But making a brand new
Вообще
IP is
расстреляно.
always a bit of a risk. Your studio's known for
нет.
kind of scarier games
Не
like The Evil
плюнут,
Within and Ghostwire
а
Tokyo.
пройти.
Can't deny that.
Плюнуть я могу.
But yeah, this type of game is
Всё.
something I just
Доля
always wanted to
секунды
make
прошла.
personally, and I just thought music and action worked
Ты
so well
попробуй
together.
пройди игру.
And
Red
after I had finished
Redemption
working on
2.
The Evil Within 2, it just felt like the right time to try something new. And our studio has always been about just making fun games. It doesn't have to be about a certain genre. We're not about making one specific thing.
And fortunately, there's plenty more of that content to come because we just saw an absolutely jam-packed trailer. So I'd love for your help in breaking down
Сань, мы с
all the
тобой
details,
играли
all
в
the
Red
stuff going
Full.
into this
Ты
update.
мне еще
Sure,
говоришь, давай
there's
там
a lot, so
спидраним
bear with
будем.
me.
Я говорю,
Everything
ну
in this
давай.
mode is
Так ты
unlockable
же
once you
сквозь
finish the
стенки
game,
пролетал,
and
сквозь
you'll unlock an
двери.
arcade cabinet
А
in your
как это
hideout.
так?
And by accessing it,
А
you get
дело
2 new
в том, что
modes.
ты
One is
играл
called
с
BPM Rush
щитом.
mode, which takes the gameplay up to like
Поэтому да,
higher
я
speeds than we've
еще
ever
раз
done in the
говорю,
main
с
game.
щитом
And the other
пройти
is
я
called
могу
Power Up
быстро.
Tower Up, which is a new sort of
Сквозь
randomized
стенки
spin on
пролетел и
the rhythm
убил
tower
всех.
mode that we had in the original
И сам
game. And
живой
included in this
остался.
mode are 5 new original
А
songs to
здесь
play
что,
to,
ты
as
не
well as
сможешь
2 brand new
спидранить
enemies.
быстро.
And then there's special attacks
крашится
and this whole
игра.
meta system for unlocking upgrades and rewards. And that's what I can think
Ощущение,
of
что
right
качество
now.
битрейт
I love
проседает.
that there's so much to unpack there, but let's rewind. Let's talk about just BPM Rush for now.
Sure.
It was described in the trailer as effectively Hi-Fi Rush's equivalent of a turbo mode. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, early on, the team was like, how fast can we go? And in the game, we kind of settled at, about a max 160 BPM. But this mode really takes it up to 200 BPM. But we sort of ease you in there. It's a gradual upgrade until it eventually gets so fast, you just gotta sort of think on your feet and naturally react to the rhythm and the combat of the game.
I personally love that there's a lot of accessible settings in the game too. It makes it so that you can adjust the game to your own comfort level. But this is a post-game challenge. It's meant for when you've gotten into the rhythm of the game. So I'm curious if you have any pointers on as far as how to tackle that challenge.
As an action game, I think a lot of people want that sort of next level challenge, another way to use their abilities in a new type of environment. This mode does that by putting you at the high speed. But we also have multiple difficulties. We have an easy mode for people who want to experience what that's like, but maybe are not in tune with that sort of high difficulty that's accompanied with this stuff. But then we have a casual normal mode as well. And then we have, after beating those modes, we can unlock an EX mode, which takes up to a hard level where damage is multiplied and keeps you at that high BPM throughout the entire time.
But there already was
try dances around the dash floor.
When Hi-Fi Rush launched, it was the Rhythm Tower mode. You mentioned that briefly earlier. That's the one where you face just increasingly difficult combat. So how has that evolved with the power-up, tower-up mode?
So the Rhythm Tower mode was kind of like a very curated experience. And while it was very challenging, you can prepare, go in and sort of customize your character, know what you're getting into. And in this mode, we flip it to the almost opposite end. Chai starts off downgraded. We actually remove all your abilities, and you have to earn them back by fighting waves of randomized enemy sets. And after every wave of enemies, you get to choose from a series of power-ups that can gradually increase your stats. Each of these upgrades comes with either bonus or negative modifiers as well to the gameplay, so you can take more risks or less risks depending on which upgrades you pick. And again, those upgrades are randomized each level, so you really kind of have to have an understanding of the systems and not quite master them, but have a good grasp if you want to go in and come out on top.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it was a really packed trailer. There was a lot of information in there. It's a chunky update. So what else have you got for us? Because I feel like there's more on the table there.
Yeah, so by playing in the two modes, you unlock these rewards through these challenges that are connected to these two modes. And in these rewards are things like accessories for Chai and new costumes for Chai 808, and even as well as fan favorite Corsica. We have new modes for the photo mode as well. Things like new filters.
Tina nods.
We have new poses for the characters. We have stickers.
He counts on his hand.
On the photos now. And then there are some extra hidden secrets that we don't want to give away right now, which, as you know from our game, we like to hide in there and we like people to find, which is always fun. And then, in conjunction with this release, we're also releasing a separate costume pack, which is a kind of take on what the characters would look like if maybe this game took place in a different time period.
Ooh, a little tease. I like that.
And there's some really fun-looking stuff in there, so...
Well, thank you again for coming out all the way from Japan to showcase Extended, John.
I'm super glad to be here.
That's all we have to share about the new update for Tango Gameworks' Hi-Fi Rush coming soon. Now it's time for us to return to the second era of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls Online. ZeniMax Online Studios debuted the trailer for their upcoming expansion at Showcase, and today they're here to break that trailer down for us. Let's hear what the team has to say about the Necrom expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
Dina smiles. Title appears for the Elder Scrolls Online Necrom Shadow over Morrowind.
The Xbox Showcase. I'm Rich Lambert, the creative director on Elder Scrolls Online.
And I'm CJ Graham, I'm the project art director for Elder Scrolls Online.
One of the really interesting things about Elder Scrolls Online is it's different than really any other game out there. It's not...
They sit together in a theater.
Level-gated world. Go anywhere. You can explore in any order you want to.
You really can hop in at any moment, play with anybody, can play any part of the game.
And any story.
Players ride their mounts through various cities and environments.
You know, the biggest open world RPG on Xbox. And it's
CJ smiles.
You can go places that you maybe have never gone before.
And do things that you've never been able to do. There's so many different activities to participate in.
Housing.
We've got lore hunting and antiquities, right? There's the dungeons and the trial.
You can, of course, always revisit lands that you've been to before. We've got Skyrim, Morrowind.
Yeah, and they're different times. You know, we're almost 1,000 years in the past.
Come in by yourself.
The player summons a bear mount.
But don't worry that you're ever not going to have something to do, because there are adventures everywhere you go.
They nod.
We had an awesome...
A giant device anchors to the ground.
Necrom?
Hermaeus Mora?
Yeah.
What's it all about, Rich?
Hermaeus Mora.
The tome opens with glowing green light.
Братан, просыпайся.
He's not good,
Ой,
he's
Xbox
not
там
evil.
Activision покупать.
He is just focused on cataloging the world and collecting everything he possibly can to sell.
The tome flips through pages of runes.
The trailer is Mora kind of always on guard, always looking over and watching what's kind of going on. And you get to see some nostalgia in there as well from the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim with the yellow-green skies.
The vast inky sea, the stacks of books.
I'll still never forget the first time you showed us the initial concepts for everything made out of books. I remember looking at that going, oh my god, how are we going to do this? Like, how is this going to run?
We always try to honor the past, right? Because when we go back to areas that people who play Elder Scrolls games have played, they know these lands. We want them to feel like they're coming home, right?
Tentacle beasts float in Apocrypha.
To add a little into the mix.
The art team was able to really play with kind of cool, unique monsters.
Yeah, we were given some great places to go for new monsters in the zone.
A spider-like mantid monster.
Making a creature that would kind of freeze you in terror as soon as you saw it. And a creature that has
it cocks its head with twitchy movements.
The overall story of the zone.
We've also got the Tavani Peninsula, kind of the Morrowind vibe.
It's always fun to go back to this part of Tamriel because it's one of the most imaginative and sort of like visually expressive things that has ever
giant mushrooms dot a rocky landscape.
Necrom City itself.
This ancient city that is rumored to have been built even before the Tribunal was even established.
Right.
Being able to play with that and look at that architecture and this ancient city of the dead.
And you guys gave us a new class to do.
The Arcanist draws
CJ points to Rich.
We really challenged ourselves and the team to make something that didn't feel like anything else that we had built.
Green runes appear from an Arcanist's hands.
When do we actually get to play?
Necrom launches on Xbox June 20th, and we can't wait for everybody to get in there and see this amazing content we've created.
The tome with runes closes.
And watching us today. Lots of exciting stuff coming for ESO in the future. See you on Tamriel.
CJ and Rich smile at us. Title appears for the Elder Scrolls Online Necrom Shadow over Morrowind coming June 20th. Logo for Kinetic Games. Text, footage recorded on PC. In first person, a player approaches a pitch-dark house. They scan using the dot projector and hold up a crucifix. Text, the genre-defining horror game is finally coming to consoles. A glowing handprint appears beside a door. The player uses a glowing green dot projector to navigate through a pitch-dark room. A paddle moves on a Ouija board. Text, using a variety of real ghost hunting equipment, identify 24 ghost types in over 10 locations. The player lights a map that match while hiding in a closet. They snap a photo and a corpse flickers into view. Text, seasonal events, reward system, cosmetics. Title, Phasmophobia, console early access. August 2023.
На Xbox попадает игра. Она просто на Xbox будет игра, прикинь. Но они геймпассы.
Text, Takuro Hiraoka. Subtitles, thanks for joining us for the Xbox Games Showcase Extended. I'm Takuro Hiraoka, director of Exoprimal. First, I would like to express my thanks to all of the Exo fighters who joined us for the first open beta test in March. Many of you shared feedback via our survey and on social media. We'll be taking this into consideration as we work on the game's development. Thank you very much. Did you have a chance to watch the Capcom Showcase? As announced during the showcase, we'll be holding a second open beta test for Exoprimal. Head to the Exoprimal official website for dates, times, and other important info. Next, I'd like to share some new information with everyone watching this showcase. First, I'd like to introduce a brand new mode called Savage Gauntlet. Savage Gauntlet is a mode with special PvE missions that rotate weekly. Teams of 5 complete challenges, and compete with other players around the world for the fastest completion time. The main difference between this mode and Dino Survival is that players encounter the same dinosaurs on the same map every time they play. Also, players will be tasked with completing the same objectives. Here, the players are using Barrage's triple threat to lay down explosives where the dinosaurs appear. Once they're summoned, Skywave will use Graviton Cage to trap the dinosaurs near the mines and detonation. The team made quick work of the dinosaurs. Their current objective is to eliminate the target dinosaurs displayed at the top of the screen. Other dinosaurs will spawn too. Players don't have to eliminate the other threats, but doing so may make it easier to complete objectives. It's up to players to choose which approach works best. Each match features multiple objectives. The flow of the match is the same as Dino Survival, so we think players will pick things up pretty quickly. A player in a mech suit guns down brightly colored dinosaurs. Subtitles. The flow of the match is the same as Dino Survival, so we think players will pick things up pretty quickly. It looks like this player is changing exosuits for the next mission. Ah, that's why they chose Vigilant. The player wants to deal with those sniper neosaurs spawning away from them. Pyro neosaurs also appear, so Vigilant can use Frostlock to freeze it and create opportunities for concentrated attacks. Here, the players used a blade to paralyze the lined-up dinosaurs before finishing them off. Streaks of light shoot through multiple pachysaurs. Subtitles. Players may also have to deal with several large dinosaurs at once. Savage Gauntlet is designed for veteran players, so missions will generally involve high-difficulty objectives. I'd encourage teams to consider their exosuit composition and module choices before jumping into the Savage Gauntlet. Teams that survive the Savage Gauntlet will see their completion time in the results screen and will receive an evaluation based on where they rank. Text appears. Victory. Subtitles. Next, I'd like to introduce exosuit variants. Exosuit variants are equipped with different weapons and have different combat styles from their original models. Take Deadeye. Its original model uses an assault rifle. Subtitles. But the Deadeye Alpha Burst 5 variant uses a weapon that boasts both a shotgun and a 5-round burst mode, switching up firing modes to take on enemies at different ranges. Here's a quick preview of other exosuit variants coming to Exo Primal. Text, Zephyr Alpha, Energy Chakram, Barrage Alpha, Rocket Hop, Vigilant Alpha, Marksman, a player snipes a Triceratops. Subtitles, Roadblock Alpha, Fortress Shield, Murasame Alpha, Frostglaive, Krieger Alpha, Charged Shotgun. Subtitles, Witch Doctor Alpha, Duality Beam, Skywave Alpha, Thunderclap, Nimbus Alpha, Double Barrel. The player hovers, then slashes down an Ankylosaurus. They slash at a dinosaur with glowing bulbous masses on their back. Subtitles. These exosuit variants will be made available in a title update after launch. We plan on regularly updating Exo Primal after the game goes live, and each season will feature new content for players to enjoy. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the War Games. It'll be massively fun. Title, Exo Primal. Available July 14th, 2023 on Game Pass and Xbox.
It's great to see the dedication from the team at Capcom and how they're building Exo Primal in partnership with the community. Gaming has the power to immerse us in worlds and perspectives we'd never otherwise experience. We can text Sarah Bond, transport to a dystopian future, explore the universe, and conjure magic. And we get to do this together, no matter where we are on the planet, the language we speak, what we look like, or our physical abilities. That is why it is both an absolute imperative and an incredible opportunity that games represent all of us. That is why we created the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program, to help underrepresented creators and stories in the industry shine. We call it DAP. DAP already includes more than 100 emerging developers, and they've launched 30 incredible games like A Space for the Unbound, Validate, and Hoa, and there are many, many more in the works. Let's take a look at these amazing games coming up next from ID at Xbox's Developer Acceleration Program.
Sarah smiles broadly. A montage of different gameplay styles, a drag queen with pigtails winks. Text, empower emerging developers. Titles and developers appear. Drag Her, Fighting Chance Games. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical by Summerfall Studios. Sonzai by Two Odd Diodes. Slime Heroes by Pancake Games. Pink slime spatters the screen. Text, tell unique stories, tell inclusive stories. Title, Naiad by High Warp. Title, Spirit Swap, lo-fi beats to match 3-2. Soft Not Weak. Botany Manor by Balloon Studios. A player waters plants. Text, reach more players, reach all players. Title, Despolote by Julian Cordero and Sebastian Valbuena. Island of Winds by Parody Games. Cychroma by Rocket Adrift.
Я в тебе геймплей Ассасина скинул. И звук убавь, тебя не слышно.
Title, ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program.
Вот так, да? Хорошо, спасибо, Жень. Я потом включу этот.
He wears aviator sunglasses.
Newman, the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. He told me about this once-in-a-lifetime, out-of-this-world
видосик, где Фил Спенсер признался, что студия Bethesda уже работает над новой игрой.
Paris Lily. Jorg Newman.
Thanks for coming to Budapest. Of course. What am I doing here?
I'll tell you on the way. We have a boat to catch.
A boat?
Yep.
We don't have a plane?
Nope. Come on, Paris.
Jorg wears an identical bomber jacket and gestures Paris onto a wooden speedboat. They zip along the waterway and arrive at a warehouse littered with a menagerie of different props and parts.
Jorg, what is this place? What kind of aircraft are you storing in here?
Ha, dude, it's much cooler than that. All right, Paris, are you ready for this?
You know I'm ready for this.
All right, let's go.
Jorg opens the door to the warehouse. They enter.
Ой, это что за роботы?
Fuselages for ornithopters and a flag.
Да ладно ты!
Litter the space.
Ух ты!
This is incredible.
Это такие роботы в реале?
Paris smiles and removes his sunglasses.
Good to see you.
Если это правда, круто.
Man with a receding hairline and sharp glasses.
Production designer of Dune.
It is very nice to meet you.
Ты представь, внутрь робота в кабину заходишь и начинаешь там ходить. У меня всегда в жизни нравились роботы. Всегда. Я фильмы люблю про роботов.
Patrice gestures into the warehouse.
Jorg, how did all this get started?
So it goes back to November 2021. Dune had just
робот-стрекоза.
and we got a call from Legendary, and they had the idea
Это самолет-симулятор.
ornithopter into Microsoft Flight Simulator.
An ornithopter unfolds its dragonfly-like wings.
Big, huge fan of the Frank Herbert books. How could I say no?
Okay, now it makes sense after seeing the trailer at the Xbox showcase. I understand why you brought me here.
You guys want to take a look? Because we actually do have a couple of ornithopters here if you want to see. You want to take a look?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Jorg and Paris nod, as Patrice escorts them inside to the fuselage of an ornithopter with its wings removed.
Блин, а кабины похожи на... Есть же игра Titanfall. Кабины похожи, как будто это Titanfall 2. Вот. Такое ощущение, что ты в кабину залазишь и можешь управлять, типа это робот. Но я понял, что это Life Look симулятор.
So Jorg, you had to get this working in the game. How did you do this in Flight Sim?
Yeah, it was actually interesting. So in general, ornithopters can fly and do fly. This particular one, given that it weighs 11 tons, that's going to be a little bit harder, specifically because it's not really doing the ornithopter bird flap. It does oscillation of the blades, and we currently don't have the material science to get the thrust and the lift. But on a rocket,
это компьютерная графика. В реале бы хренаны так бы вертолет полетал.
The three enter the cockpit.
Climbing up the landing gear, but this will do.
A compact instrument gauge has all analog readouts.
About this, Paris, is that all those buttons are actually realistically hooked up to the system. Master engine switch, what you're doing there, above those, the red, are basically all the lights.
And as you notice, it's all analog because in the world of Doom, there's no thinking machines. Thinking machines have been illegal for 10,000 years.
Хотите посмотреть на то видео, где Фил Спенсер признается, что Bethesda работает над новой игрой? Я сейчас на 5 минут включу этот, он короткий ролик, просто я тут звук на паузу пока нажму, ну звук просто уберу. Вот. Сейчас я вам включу, посмотрите.
Well, I mean, as well, you talking about next year, you said 2025 too. How many years ahead have you sort of, even in the back of your mind, have an idea for based on conversations you're having with teams on projects that might be very, very early in development?
Well, we were just at Obsidian on Friday and saw a pretty good roadmap. I mean, when you start to think about, you know, what's the future of Halo, what does that roadmap look like? When you start to think about...
Yeah, and...
Think about...
Yeah, and...
Think about...
Yeah, and...
Ну вот.
Capital city of Arcane.
Как-то так.
He points to Arcane on the map.
We have that as well. And
Скорее всего, может быть, даже над новым Думом.
Fast landing and then the deep dive. And then we take you to some of the extreme locations, like above the cliff, the hole in the rock, the red chasm. You really
The ornithopter speeds and banks through canyons.
And then there's a secret mission, which I can't talk about today, but that basically wraps up the experience. It's gonna be great.
Super exciting.
Jorg grins.
Hey, it was great to see you again.
Paris?
Jorg and Patrice shake hands.
Thank you so much for having me.
Followed by Paris and Patrice. The House Atreides logo is stamped on a banner.
Where to next?
Well, I don't know what they eat on Arrakis, but this is Budapest, and I hear they have excellent goulash. I know a place.
Well, let's go.
Jorg and Paris don their aviator sunglasses and each hold up a fist as they walk into the sunlight. Title appears, Dune and Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Ой, ляди, бедненький, мне нравится, что Microsoft так сказала. А почему? А потому что они сказали, что могут. Ну вот попробуйте, мы вам заблокируем, попробуйте. Ну. Блядь, ну это такое ощущение, что это, ну, знаешь, не взрослые люди там сидят, а дети, вот реальные дети. Типа Microsoft приходит и говорит, ребят, а мы можем закрыть сделку. А попробуй! А вот сейчас закрой, попробуй, не открой. Вот ну-ка закройте. Закройте, я сказал. Ну вот, давай, открой. Как-то так это как-то происходит. Насчет Близзардов. Дело было так. Где-то в середине года Близзарды начали возмущаться, мол, типа, там когда Сони начали уже этот Джим Райан везде ездить, отговаривать всех, чтобы там сделку отменили, и Близзарды начали возмущаться, типа, а мы против, мы за то, чтобы у нас Microsoft приобрела, мы за, мы там хотим то. А Activision в этот момент Sony договоры заключали, что если вдруг сделка случится, чтобы игры от Activision не попали ни в коем случае в Game Pass. Вот. И что в итоге вышло? В итоге игры от Близзардов, которые выходят, Microsoft пиарит как только может. Везде. С любого утюга. А игры от Activision, которые будут выходить, ни слуху, ни духу, не слышно. Вот так. Здорово, Кирилл. Здесь не сильно будет сегодня весело, здесь будут показывать какую-нибудь игру, которая выйдет на Xbox, но просто подробно рассказывают, типа вот как они там шли, как они эту разработку вели, сколько им понадобилось, там туда-сё. И тут, кстати, в этой русской субтитров даже нету. Вот. Тут просто на английском ля-ля тополя.
Gameplay, third-person hack and slash.
Поэтому Overwatch, когда сюжетку, квест сюжетный добавят, да? Заметьте вчера, как Microsoft их показали, типа, Blizzard, что вот, Overwatch 2, там, типа, ну вот, сюжетка. А то, что у Activision выходит 4-й сезон, вчера ни слуху, ни духу. Вот такой бойкот, типа, с нашей стороны. В сторону Activision. Они, сука, бабки хотят. Xbox Series вырос более чем на 100% продажи после Xbox Game Show. Об этом сообщают такие магазины, как GameStop, Amazon и так далее. Да, я же новость выставил, там не только, там и MediaMarkt, и Expert Klein. У нас есть такой магазин, называется Expert Klein. Маленький эксперт, если на русский дословно язык перевести. Вот. Выросли спрос, вырос. Я тебе сейчас еще более того скажу. 1 сентября у нас выходит консоль Series S уже на 1 терабайт, да? Разберут как горячие пирожки, я тебе правду говорю. Разберут. По всем характеристикам она будет такая же, как и белая Series S. Только там на 1 терабайт будет. Насчет сделки, это сделано намеренно насчет сделки для того, чтобы быстрее оспорить решение ФТС, тем самым они быстрее накладывают запрет. Майки же наоборот оправдывает и выигрывает в этом решении. Да-да. Ну, по сути, ну, сделка завершится. Тут, как говорится, даже бабки-гадалки не ходи, потому что пока ФТС временно заблокировала сделку, да, временно, а Британия навсегда. И, по сути, 2 страны сказали нет, 2. Остальные 38 стран, включая даже Китай и Южную Корею, они сказали да. Евросоюз сказал да. Все 38 стран сказали да. Все. 2 страны против. 2 только. Это Британия и США. Все. А так сделка по-любому, она не сгорит. Как Сонибой там надеются. Мы выиграем. А потом на следующий Ubisoft. Следующий на очереди Ubisoft. Да-да, я знаю, что новый сезон в колде.
Senua's breath clouds in the cave.
At this point in Senua's journey, she's had her confidence eroded. There's a lot of doubt. And she needs to find within herself a spark of hope.
Starfield 30 FPS. Смотри теперь, объясняем. По-любому Bethesda, может быть, сразу не выпустит 30 FPS. Со временем там могут патчем каким-то под что-то и завести 60 FPS. Это раз. Плюс, смотри, в Starfield будет иметь моды. Например, ты игру скачаешь через Game Pass, да? Кто-то, допустим, скачает Starfield на ПК, создаст мод, к примеру, да, допустим, 60 FPS. Ты можешь этот мод установить на Xbox и играть в Starfield на Xbox с этим модом. Вуаля! Помнишь, когда этот был, как его, тоже сейчас игру вспомнил? Блять, забыл. Skyrim. Он же поначалу тоже был 30 FPS. И игроки сделали мод, сделали на моде, чтобы игра шла в 60 FPS. И вуаля. Потому что, насчет русского языка, ну, тут извини, тут ты сам понимаешь, это за войны, это все из-за войны. То, что война началась, а многие начали вырезать русский язык везде и отовсюду. Следующие Японии будут брать Capcom или тема ниндзя. Ну, либо Capcom, да, тоже хорошая студия. Нет, Игорь, мод дай мне. Нет, решать проблему. Надо реально признать, не тянет наш самый мощный бокс в 60 FPS. А знаешь что, если бы Xbox не тянул 60 FPS, тогда колда бы шла бы в 30 FPS, Overwatch шла бы в 30 FPS, все другие игры шли бы в 30 FPS, но почему большинство игр идут 60, а ты говоришь, что Xbox не тянет? Тут я с тобой не соглашусь. Когда Киберпанк, вспомни Deadline 2, игра Deadline 2, она тоже шла в 30 FPS, и когда все жаловались, типа, а почему 30 FPS, все говорят, ну, знаете, Xbox Series S тому виной, у ней там мало памяти, у ней мало то сё, мало терафлопса, поэтому идет игра в 30 FPS на Series X. А потом, год спустя, оптимизация вышла, и бац, вуаля, 60 FPS. И на Series S, и на Series X.
Crew members pull on the pulleys to simulate motion.
PSR 3.0 жду чего неясного. Это ты кому?
And having these wonderful actors we're working with bring their talents to bear on these characters has been such an amazing experience.
Lara nods.
Вопрос, почему на ПК 60 FPS, а на боксе 30 FPS? Скажешь, как балабол тот. А что это такое видеоигры? Ну, Кирилл, еще раз говорю. Большинство игр идут даже и в 120 FPS. 120. И на Series S, и на Series X. Вот, например, Atomic Heart. Там, во-первых, графон был вау. Трассировка лучей и 60 FPS. Как так? Вот ты сейчас писал выше, что надо признать, что наш Xbox не тянет 60 FPS. Ну, Atomic Heart. Графон вау, трассировка лучей есть и 60 FPS. Как так?
One tests Forza, another Hi-Fi Rush. A woman with blue curls waves. A cotton candy machine.
Если бы эта игра была бы такой плохой Starfield, то зачем тогда Джим Райан до приобретения Bethesda хотел выкупить игру Starfield на PlayStation 5 и сделать ее эксклюзивом для PlayStation 5? Если по всем меркам она плохая, и она 30 FPS идет. Тот заявил, что мы так типа видим игру. Это лучший экспириенс для консоли. Что ж он тогда на ПК не запомнил 30 FPS? Ну, это уже проблемы с Тодом Говардом, а не со мной. Я просто лишь свое мнение выразил, и все. Но я тебе еще раз говорю. Можно завести оптимизацию, и все, и, пожалуйста, игра будет идти не в 60 FPS. Кстати, у нас в Германии вчера были в кинотеатрах, показывали вот эти шоу-кейс по всей Германии.
A fan changes a tire. One waves a plushy Xbox.
And then there's so much excitement for what we're going to be able to deliver going into 2024, and even games
Matt Booty.
we haven't talked about yet. So our mission, our strategy is to bring the joy of gaming to everybody, no matter where they want to play, how they want to play. And I just feel, you know, a real responsibility, a real privilege, excitement that we get to be the ones to build those games that are going to be at the center of no matter what we do.
Matt smiles. Players cheer in a crowd. Text. Sign up for Xbox FanFest at xbox.com/fanfest.
Спасибо, спасибо. И я тоже не сомневаюсь, что ты там уважаешь меня. Я понимаю, я тебя тоже, честно, я тебя уважаю, Кирилл, правда. Потому что на ПК можно выпустить с низкими настройками, а тут нельзя. Ну, видишь, даже вот нагибатор объяснил, что на ПК можно так. Да не обращай внимания, мало кто себе в России может позволить купить комп за 200 000 Да ему не понять, есть стандарт качества, потому что надо сделать еще на, не знаю, как Gears 5 перепиливали. Я 4 года играю с выходом и все видел. Вопрос, почему не завезли 2К 60 FPS, почему не завезли еще 80 Full 120 FPS. Ну, они говорили, что, видишь, в этом Стартфилде, что будет еще трассировка лучей. Они сказали, что будет 4К, трассировка лучей и 30 FPS. Но все можно решить путем оптимизации. Скорее всего, оптимизация будет, может, не сразу. Может быть, да, я не знаю, ну посмотрим. Потому что я помню то, что там Days Gone 2, когда игра вышла, вот эти про зомби там. И она тоже сначала шла в 30 FPS. И когда начали там возмущаться игроки, разработчики начали обвинять Xbox Series S, мол, типа Series S, ну там слабый, там 4 терафлопса, там мало, памяти мало. Вот у Series X там 12 терафлопс, там памяти больше, то все. Ну тогда вот довезите 60 FPS хотя бы на Series X. Раз вы не можете на Series S завести. Но и на Series X она даже шла 30 FPS. А потом спустя год, воля, патчи выкатывают, все везде, 60 FPS. И на Series X, и на Series S. Потому что смотреть нужно на картинку. Он не понял, что увидел просто может на телеках за 20К, сидел всю жизнь и не знает, как цвета выглядят волшебно сочные. Ну, я с тобой согласен, нагибатор тоже. Ну, подождем до сентября. Может быть, Bethesda критику услышит свой адрес и, может быть, исправят, сделают, может быть, я не знаю точно. Это теперь эти будут симуляторы инди-игры показывать. Кстати, Стрей, вот этот Стрей, там про бродилка, про кота, она скоро попадет в Game Pass. Она раньше была временным эксклюзивом PlayStation 5. Она выходила на ПК, на плойку 5. И вот скоро должна попасть в Game Pass. Так что Sony Boy покупали эту игру. Они тестировали эту игру, да? Вот. А мы поиграем вот через Game Pass.
In first person, a player grapples through a city in the sky. Title: Mineko's Night Market. Gameplay:
Да, PSR, кстати, я с тобой согласен, фича хорошая, ТМД. Для повышения FPS как DLS, но пока еще не вышло. Летом обещали, вот, и не могу заанонсить 60 кадров и вдруг задержка. Да, и, кстати, в VRR тоже хорошая фича.
Logo for Xbox Game Pass.
Every year in our showcase, there's one game that kind of pops for me, something I'm very interested in. This year we got
Phil Spencer.
33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus, and I'm here now with Stefan and Will to walk through a demo of the game, which I've never played before, first time. We have 33 people online, incredibly excited about this. So we're gonna jump in?
All right, let's jump in and start playing.
33 Immortals is a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. You play a damned soul who must rebel against God's final judgment. So there are 3 of us
Gameplay,
here
2D top-down hack and slash.
3 upstairs, and 27 people joining us from Montreal in the studio. Hi, everyone.
3 people at desks, wave.
That's us. Everybody's spawning in. That's
us.
Phil.
Arrows point to Stefan,
Phil
Will, and
написано
Phil's
было.
characters.
not a normal number of characters for a multiplayer game. How did you come up with 33 players?
Я знаю, что Фил играет в эти вот такие инди-игры. Он P3. Фил Спенсер.
But as a game, it's inspired by the Divine Comedy, the medieval poem from Dante Alighieri, written in the 14th century. And this poem has 3 sections: Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. Each section has 33 chapters. And so we say, oh, let's do 33 players.
А есть надеюсь, что все будет, но не сразу. Может, тестят быстрее переключения графических играх, перезапуск. Они хотят на лету, чтобы такое тоже есть в играх некоторых. Я не посмотрел обзор зарубежных VRR, конкретно повышает input lag ТВ, мониторов. Это чтобы знали. Я в колду играю без него. Разница не на лицо.
Oh, we're not all in the same place.
Yeah, because we all have to complete torture chambers.
Got it.
To make the game progress.
Okay.
And we are located at the southwest of Inferno.
Yeah.
And so the
Text,
closest
pre-alpha gameplay.
chambers is to the east.
Okay.
So let's go there.
Got it.
Ребят, мне скоро идти надо будет в магазин. Я еще чуть посижу, потом в магазин надо будет идти.
Dotted with graves and sparse trees. The camera follows the active player.
Thank you. This is Max LL, who's actually done the music on all of our games.
Я знаю, что Фил любит играть в эту Destiny.
One of our XGS studios in Compulsion.
Yes.
Also in Showcase.
Yes.
I love the community of game creators in Montreal.
Absolutely. It's always important to be well surrounded and all that. So
we didn't talk about your first game, Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was great.
The player dashes around zombie-like enemies in a chamber.
No, but like, how do you think about that from a studio standpoint, having such, I mean, I would say they're stylized games, but outside of that, very different games.
We're not worried.
Phil uses a mix of a magical bow and an up-close sword.
Try and make unique, immersive, creative experiences that players love and that they want to play for.
Awesome, I love that.
Yeah.
This guy who's
Players on screen wear multicolored capes.
getting out of my comfort zone sometimes.
Text, elite enemies are bigger, stronger, and give more rewards when defeated.
Chambers, achieve a first step in.
I got left behind. That's what you're saying.
Defying God, yeah.
Phil nods.
Back on us.
Whoa. Well, we gotta face the wrath of God.
Кстати, в 2029 году выйдут новые консоли Xbox
Phil Spencer's character.
с новым геймпадом.
I have like 0 health. New torture. No.
He dashes away from fluttering enemies.
Well, why weren't they in the torture chamber trying to help us? Okay, these range.
God is getting angry.
Yeah.
А помните, были слухи, кстати, по поводу, что якобы Sony хотят выпустить PlayStation 5 Pro. На самом деле это фейк оказался. Sony сама подтвердила, что PlayStation 5 Pro либо Slim они не будут выпускать.
Phil flees an oncoming wave of red embers.
Okay, I'm ahead of it.
Ладно, всем удачи, спокойной ночи, вам увидимся еще. Спасибо, Сань, что заходил, спасибо, тебе тоже всего хорошего. Я уже 9 лет сижу на проводе, не могу по беспроводу играть. Чую, лаг бесит.
Maybe someone.
Did I mention I'd never played before?
Phil dashes around.
Ну, либо обновляй геймпад, там же обновление прилетает на геймпадик, обновляй, и input lag, по идее, должен у тебя убраться.
Gonna try to not move.
Okay.
Вот.
Don't move.
Stefan removes his hand from his controller.
Ну да, по проводу лучше, потому что батарейки не разряжаются, батарейки нафиг не нужны.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, thank you.
Text. Ascension battles completed.
У меня коллекция геймпадов. Кстати, ребят, ссылка закрепленная там. Это ссылка на мою телегу. Кто хочет, вступайте сейчас. Ссылку в чате кину. Вступайте в ссылку моей группы телегу.
Chapter of first book, is that how I should think about it?
Я просто...
The first world, so it's Inferno.
Yeah.
Иногда туда новости публикую или просто общаемся, бывает, с ребятами. Нас пока там 4. Вот.
That's what this is. Well, since we've basically come through unscathed so far, this should be easy.
A three-headed skeletal creature looms and comes to life, bursting out of its crystalline prison.
Yeah, it looks easy.
Title: 33 Immortals.
To kill the final boss.
Yeah. It's a bit of a tease.
I like it. I like it. Well,
Will
best of
grins.
luck to you and the team and everything that's going on. Can't wait for this game to come out. I won't ask for the date because I know that's unfair.
Полгода назад была
обнова.
Уменьшил лаг заметно, но по проводу лучше. Все равно родной. Подарил, и у меня Хари и Райдер оба проводные.
Thanks to everybody that supported us, and have a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Phil Spencer waves and smiles.
Все, конец
Title
уже.
appears. Xbox Games Showcase Extended. Thanks for watching. Audio description provided by Descriptive Video Works. Narrated by
Сейчас,
Janissary.
секундочку, я свет включу. У меня, короче, если из моих наушников показать, сейчас покажу. Какие у меня наушники. Сейчас. Я тогда пока выйду. Так. Они у меня 3D звук, объемными, JBL. Они идут... вот, короче, их заряжать надо. Можно не заряжать, они по проводу. Вот с ними идет провод вот такой, ну, простой, да, вот такой вот. Если ты хочешь объемный звук, вот прям реальный вот звук, здесь есть функция, ты ее включаешь. Вот. Они вот так загораются. И все. И вот куда ты потом головой вот так будешь поворачиваться, например, в эту сторону, ты будешь слушать только тут, вот то, что тут. Если ты поворачиваешь в эту сторону, ты видишь, только, слышишь только тут. Наверх вот так поднимешь голову, да, наверх. Ты будешь слушать только то, что наверху. Но в них есть один большой минус. В них. Даже если микрофон выключен, вот сейчас он типа включен, даже если он выключен, ты заходишь в игру, и тебе кричат твои команды. Ну, например, ты играешь один, вот в колде, да? Ты просто играешь, и ты слышишь даже как эхо у тебя, типа, и тут, и типа эхо, и в игре. Вот это. Поэтому я беру наушники от Xbox, обычные наушники от Xbox, и играю в них. Этими наушниками я только за ПК сижу. Вот этими наушниками. А также у меня есть мания коллекционировать геймпады. Вот у меня кастомный вот такой геймпад 20-летний с автографом Фила Спенсера. Вот. Тут написано, когда все играют, мы побеждаем. Фил Спенсер. Ты пробовал DTS X в играх? С его поддержкой написано должно быть информативно в игре. Примерно месяц-два назад стали выходить. Сейчас не помню, просто отметил для себя, что пошли такие. Кстати, в DTS, да, играю, сейчас покажу, сейчас, секунду. У меня стоит DTS X. Вот, я с ним играю, да, в DTS. У меня и тут и Dolby куплен, DTS куплен. Вот. Сейчас. Есть один, это кто не увидел, кто не успел прийти, там, может, Кирилл не видел, где Фил Спенсер, говорит, что, мол, типа, студия Bethesda работает над новой игрой. Сейчас я покажу этот ролик. Это для тех, кто этот ролик, возможно, не видел.
Well, I mean, as well, you're talking about next year, you said 2025 too. How many years ahead have you sort of, even in the back of your mind, have an idea for based on conversations you're having with teams on projects that might be very, very early in development?
Well, we were just at Obsidian on Friday and saw a pretty good roadmap. I mean, when you start to think about, what's the future of Halo, what does that roadmap look like? When you start to think about... Think about... Think about...
Ну вот, как-то так. Ладненько, ребят, мне надо бежать в магазин. Я буду тогда со всеми прощаться. Всем большое еще раз спасибо. Эти аплодисменты в вашу честь. За то, что пришли на стрим. Спасибо огромное. Вот. Всем большое спасибо, ребят. Спокойной ночи. Мирного неба вам над головой. Всего самого хорошего. Всем пока.